2020, the human world was in prison and held hostage. Everyone aged 20 and up was shackled, bound by fear and anxiety. And everyone aged young or old, and I'm sure all of you here, knew of terms like high-risk individuals and comorbidities. This was a time when we doctors in India, irrespective of our medical specialty, were busy treating patients day in and day out in intensive care units and COVID wards. Patients suffering from the most adverse effects of the pandemic. And this is the moment when we had an insurmountable amount of stress. There was a great amount of relief when patients walked out safely. There was even more grief when we lost one soul. And we lost so many. Families were destroyed. So much mourning and so much anxiety. All of this because of what we understood as patients with comorbidities. Now, for those of you who don't understand this term yet, comorbidities include lifestyle diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, certain breathing conditions, and heart diseases. It's funny. After all, lifestyle diseases are the worst enemies of life itself, because they worsen any other condition that you may have to make it life-threatening. They are the death escalators. I'm Dr. Manan Vora, and I'm a sportsman by passion, but a doctor by profession. And I'm here today to tell you about some of the worst health challenges our world faces today. But don't worry, I'm also here to tell you about an equally effective drug that helps in the prevention of most of these chronic diseases. It's basically a miracle drug that, if used effectively, can positively impact every organ of your body simultaneously. It's none other than exercise. As an orthopedic surgeon and a sports medicine specialist, I've often prescribed exercise as medicine. But between this COVID catastrophe and a subsequent review of India's health statistics, I'm utterly flummoxed. I cannot begin to understand why the medical community as a whole is not prescribing exercise as medicine, preventatively and curatively. I cannot begin to understand why the world sits idle as we lose millions of lives to lifestyle diseases. After all, physical activity and exercise has already been proven by research to actually prevent the rising risk of developing lifestyle diseases such as type 2 diabetes, obesity, certain heart conditions, certain types of cancers, even dementia, anxiety, and depression. Now I'm going to show you some alarming numbers just so you understand how serious this problem is. And I'm going to put it up here so that you can see it for yourself. Lifestyle diseases are estimated to account for around 60% of all deaths. Indians are known to have the highest rates of coronary artery disease. Mortality associated with coronary artery disease in Asian Indians is 20 to 50% higher than any other population. In Indians, 1 of every 10 persons aged 18 and above has an increased blood glucose level. There were more than 73 million cases of diabetes in India in 2017, which is the highest across the globe. How did we stand a chance in 2020 then? 1 in every 4 individuals older than 18 years in India has an increased blood pressure level. 1 in every 4. Hypertension is attributable to 10.8% of all deaths in India. An ICMR study claims that 79% of the general population had abnormalities in at least one of the lipid parameters. Overweight or obesity is seen in 30 to 65% of the adult Indian urban population. And the ICMR study also says that every second individual is physically inactive, and that less than 10% of the studied population was involved in doing regular physical activity. These are statistics that I'm quoting verbatim to you. Numbers that should get your antenna up. But you know what these numbers tell me? You know what these statistics tell me? It tells me that the real pandemic has been with us all through these decades, stealthily corroding good health. The real pandemic, ladies and gentlemen, is inactivity. And it's here to stay unless we raise awareness levels. Let me throw this question out to all of you. You are free to raise your hand or at least be honest with yourself. How many of you have suffered from depression or anxiety at any point in your life? How many of you have lost a loved one to a heart disease, to COVID, or to a certain type of cancer? I know I have. How many of you are or know someone closely who is diabetic? There you go. Now, how many of you exercise for 40 minutes per day, every day, unfailingly? A study in the Lancet has shown that 1.3 million deaths every year can be averted, can be prevented if the rate of physical and inactivity reduces just by 25%. Just by 25%, we can prevent 1.3 million deaths worldwide every year. Did you know that physical inactivity kills just as many people as smoking does? Trust me, guys, but sitting is the new smoking. But enough about the problems. Let's talk about the solution. One key solution, in fact, exercise. Why, you ask? Because exercise makes your blood vessels bigger and keeps them functioning smoothly. They are less likely to plug up and cause a heart attack or a stroke. Because exercise means more blood flow to your brain and a reduced rate of cognitive decline. Because exercise has been linked with a reduced risk of developing Alzheimer's. Now you're more likely to remember the good times in life. Because exercise lowers your blood glucose level and improves your body's sensitivity to insulin, countering insulin resistance. Trust me, diabetes is a silent killer and we truly don't want it. Because exercise, both aerobic and resistant, is known to effectively reduce your blood pressure. Now you're more likely to blow off steam than actually blow your top off. Are you getting the gist, or should I go on? And if reducing the risk of developing these chronic diseases isn't reason enough for you to move, do it for any reason. You want to lose weight? Exercise. You want that bikini body for your beach vacation? Exercise. You want to look great for your cousin's wedding? Exercise. You want to impress someone before you ask them out on a date? Exercise. The motive doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. However, I do hope it stems from a positive space rather than you feeding into your body image issues. The idea is to bring about this change and exercise. Make this change a habit. Make this habit a lifestyle. Your reason to start, your motive to start may be a short-term goal, but make this habit a lifestyle goal. Start and don't stop, ever. Easier said than done, isn't it? Let me tell you how to go about it. The first thing you need to do is pick a physical activity that you really enjoy. It could be a walk, it could be a run, it could be dance sessions, it could be lifting weights, it could be going swimming, it could be riding a bike, whatever it is. If you enjoy what you are doing, chances are that you will show up the next day and the day after that. You don't need to follow the latest fitness fad on social media if it isn't right for you. If you enjoy walking on the treadmill, listening to your favorite playlist or your favorite podcast, that's great. What I recommend you do is follow the SMART goals, SMART goals. Now let me tell you what this means. They should be specific and measurable. What do you want to do and how do you know that you've achieved it? For example, I want to go for a jog for 30 minutes in the evening. It's specific, it's measurable. Next, it should be achievable and realistic. That means it should stretch your abilities but yet be possible and sustainable. For example, I want to lose 3 kgs in a week. This is not possible, it is not sustainable, it is not achievable, and it is not realistic. So make sure they are achievable and realistic. And lastly, they should be time bound. Now let me give you an example of this. I want to lift weights for 45 minutes a day, every evening, for 5 days a week for the next 3 months. Now this is an SMART goal. It's a SMART goal. The idea is you create your own SMART goal and go about achieving it. When you do achieve it, give yourself a pat on the back, make your next SMART goal and go about to achieving that. The most important thing is to actually schedule your exercise or workout just how you would do a meeting or a class or an appointment. If you want to go for a morning jog or an evening gym session, add it to your calendar and let everyone around you actually know that you are blocked, that you are not available. The idea is to make it non-negotiable. No excuse on earth should actually stop you from making this investment into your life. You got your periods? Well, exercise releases feel-good hormones called as endorphins, which will actually help with your period pain and your PMS symptoms. You got an annoying spouse, 2 kids and a dog at home? Well, exercise triggers your heart rate and it releases a chemical called norepinephrine, which effectively helps you manage stress. Heck, you got a rampaging bull kind of boss constantly at your back. Running is going to help you now more than ever. If you need inspiration or if you need motivation, then look me up on Instagram. I've had tons of DMs of people telling me that they've started exercising after listening to what I've had to say. They tell me how it's changed their lives. They tell me how it's improved their emotional well-being. They tell me how it's gotten rid of minor aches and pains. And they tell me how it's improved their body health and blood parameters. I recently had a girl DM me saying that she never thought that she'd be so active, let alone actually exercise or lift weights. She thought that if girls join the gym and lift weights, they'd become extremely bulky. Funny. She now deadlifts just as much as I do, and she looks great doing it. To conclude, here are a few key takeaways for all of you at a personal level. First, read up about the harmful effects of a sedentary or a mildly active lifestyle. You'll be surprised to know how much negligence costs so many people. Number 2, write down your SMART goals and go about achieving them. Also write the reason, why are you doing this? It could be vanity, it could be frivolity, it could be genuine health concerns. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Third, go out and actually exercise. And fourth, make it non-negotiable. You may run away from it for a while, you may try to find excuses, but once you get hooked onto it, you will actually start missing your workouts. I'd also like to take a minute to put this thought out there. Exercise is medicine, and we need medical boards to include this wonder drug in their curriculum. We need doctors as a community to prescribe exercise as medicine in specific dosages for patients, preventatively and curatively. We need to actively encourage a combination of food and exercise to create a healthier population. We need experts to guide people into training their minds into loving their bodies. And if you truly love your body, then a healthier lifestyle and great habits will come naturally to you. The end is here, and I'm about to sign off. End. Strange word, isn't it? A foregone conclusion for all living beings. So I'm going to leave you here with this thought. It is how you choose to live the life that you've been gifted that matters. It is how you choose to treat the body that you've been blessed with that matters. It is how you choose to ease the soul of countless cycles of beginnings and endings that matters. Step out of your comfort zone and do the things that matter. The foremost being self-care. And if you are able to actually love yourself, adapting to a healthier lifestyle will make you a true warrior, fighting for what's his or hers, and fighting for the loved ones who depend on your well-being. I'm Dr. Manan Vora. Thank you for hearing me out.